I believe people are delusional about their dream jobs. As someone who wants to be a full-time content creator and a creative, I didn't really realize how much work this was actually going to be. I believe most people need a wake-up call, and that's why I'm kind of just making this video. I'm not saying not to pursue your dreams, but there's a lot more that goes into it that most people do not realize. It's a lot of work and dedication, and you just have to put up with a lot of stuff that you didn't even know about, honestly. You have to show up every day, even though sometimes you don't even want to. And it's hard to have the creative juices always flowing. I mean, I'm usually pretty good at it, but sometimes there are days where I'm just like, dude, I don't even know what to think about. Like, what is my brain? It's just kind of shut off. And sometimes I need like that boredom, or like need to be not near my creative work or something. Like, there's just some days I don't even know what to do. And I don't even know if his schedule is working at this point. It kind of just depends. Like, you have to create a schedule for yourself that you don't even know is going to work in the long run. It kind of makes you feel like an idiot because you don't know it's going to work. And it's just an uphill battle that a lot of people do not realize. I really want to pursue my dreams, and I kind of have been ever since I've been unemployed and just make a little bit more connections and slowly just getting there. And it is a lot, it's a long process, honestly. You have to meet a lot of people, you have to talk to a lot of people, you really have to put yourself out there. As someone who's naturally introverted and doesn't really like doing that, it's kind of just like draining for me. I mean, this channel is very simple to make, it's just kind of fun. It's more of like a journaling thing for me. But one of the hardest parts of actually like pursuing your dreams is the mental part. Honestly, I've been unemployed for about like 2 months ish, gonna be pushing on three, and the job market is not as great as it seems. And first month I was like, this is great, I'm kind of chilling. Second month I'm like, all right, I can kind of see the toll kind of happening right now. And I personally do have a emergency fund that is actually pretty big. But this is the hardest part I've kind of noticed while I've been trying to pursue my dreams, is the mental part. And it's kind of the unknown. Like, you don't really know what's happening and you don't know where you're going. You kind of have some kind of direction, but I do have some kind of plan and some little bit of structure, but it is getting harder every day. And that's just kind of the reality of it. And then you start to question yourself if it's all really worth it. And then you kind of go in this like downward spiral, just like, I don't really know what is happening right now. And then you have people around you who think you're delusional or you're stupid because you don't really know what you're doing. And to be honest, they probably have no idea how to do it any better than you do because they're also working their 9 to 5. Another thing that you have to like realize is that another part is that you have to turn this hobby into a business, which takes a lot of the joy out of the hobby. It's because you have to learn so many tools under your belt instead of just creating, which is like the best part of being a creative, is creating. And the business side of things and the social media side of things and the networking side of things and the budgeting side of things, and I don't know, the profit and all that stuff, like all the timesheets, not timesheets, but I make like budget sheets and stuff, and like making sure I'm kind of actually profiting. Like, there's just so many things you have to understand about making a business, and you basically have to be learning everything. And when you're learning all these things, you're not really creating anymore. You might be creating because I mean, you still have to put it aside because that's like the inventory and everything. That's what people are going to buy. And that is probably only like 10% of the business. The other 90% is like the business side of things. It's not the creating side of things. And I personally just love creating like a lot. And it's very hard to find time for it because I'm so focused on like content creation and other things like that. And you're creating for an audience and not for yourself anymore. And then it really turns into an uphill battle again. When you're learning all the business side of things, it's not something a lot of creatives really want to do. And a lot of creatives are not very structured. They kind of flow a lot with life. And I'm pretty structured. I'm pretty good at it, but it's getting a little bit difficult for me at this point, just because I'll kind of talk about it a little bit later in this video. It's like you'll have to force yourself to step up every day and keep learning, which is something a lot of people do not want to do. On top of all that, you're stressed about money, assuming you're like unemployed or you're like doing this full time, or you still have a 9 to 5 and then you come home and you're still exhausted, but you know you still have to work. There's a lot of mental strain that goes into this because compared to a job, at least you have security and you know what the typical day will look like. And then another thing that I've been noticing on myself is just the structure. And I do like structure in my life. As of recently, I've been like trying to learn how to like flow in life and just kind of not take everything so like personally, I guess. Like when you're unemployed, you have all the time in the world to think to yourself and to doubt yourself and to like think none of this is going to work. And like even if you're unemployed and not pursuing like any businesses or anything, a lot of people do not like being unemployed because they do not know what to do with themselves. And I'm just glad I have like all these hobbies because it does keep me busy and it keeps me like mentally stable for the most part. But the structure is getting a little bit all over the place for me. Like I started off really well. Like I was waking up at 10 a.m. I was going to bed around midnight, and this was kind of like the sleep schedule I had when I was employed. So that's kind of probably why I was like used to that already. And now I kind of feel like it's all over the place. Maybe this is just my natural state of being is that I'm a night owl. I will stay up working until like 2 or 3 a.m. if I have the energy to do so and I'm not like burnt out from screen time or anything like that. And then I've been waking up around like 11, noon, 10:30, sometimes 9 o'clock. And it's just all over the place. And I feel like sleep is like very detrimental to like your schedule. So if that gets thrown off, then everything around you gets thrown off. And the only reason I can do that is because I'm still unemployed and I currently have a job interview tomorrow and we'll kind of see where that goes. I'll probably make a video on that later down the road if everything goes well. And if it does go well, I might be making less videos, but I hope not because I do like making these videos because they're fun and super simple. It's just hard to maintain your own structure because you can do whatever you want when you want. And sometimes you do not show up every day. You just want to sit at home and do nothing, or you want to go outside, or you want to hang out with friends. There was one day, so I live like next to a lake, which is kind of nice, but there was one day I walked around it 2 times, and it takes about like an hour and a half to an hour 45 minutes to like I can walk there, right? And I will walk there, and I will walk around that lake, and then I'll come home and that takes about like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. And I did that twice in one day because I was just like, I'm bored. I don't want to work right now. I just want to be outside and get some sunlight. And that's exactly what I did. And then I ended up going out that night too. And then like I was looking at like my steps and stuff. I hit 30K steps in one day. And I was like, how am I still alive? But it was fun. It was nice. I got to see my friends and stuff like that. So people are so used to having structure in their life. So the moment that you don't have any structure, your thoughts have a tendency to kind of go everywhere, and you really need to learn how to be by yourself. And if you are not good at that, you're really going to struggle with being unemployed or trying to follow your dreams or anything like that. I'm saying that you don't have to be unemployed to follow your dreams, even though it does give you a lot more time. However, a lot of people don't know how to do time management. If you have a job and you're following your dreams after work and you have the energy for that, then keep doing that. It's just something you have to kind of notice when you're like working on these things. But time management is a lot different. It's hard to show up every day when you have to deal with the rest of the stuff that I was talking about. There are some days that I have great deep work and I can work like all day. And there's some days where I kind of just don't do anything. Like I was talking about the whole lake thing. Like I go outside for most of the day or I have to be an adult and do adult things. There's some days where I still just want to chill and maybe get like a massage or just go to the gym for like 3 hours because I can at this point. I don't have to rush my workout or anything like that. And the days that you don't work, you start to feel guilty because you're not working, because you were so dedicated to this craft and now you're just sitting here doing nothing. And then the cycle kind of continues throughout the week with all the mental and physical obstacles that you have to deal with. So we'll see what happens. I know I have a large emergency fund, so I can last for quite some time, but I don't really want to use it all. Plus, this is kind of getting hard to do. I mean, some days are better than others, and then there are some days where it's hard to keep up, where you just want to sit and actually enjoy life and do what you ever want to do and just kind of sit there and breathe and just kind of hang out. Trust me, there's a lot more work than people believe there is. They think that they can just make like a couple of videos and stuff and that you're going to blow up on like YouTube or like social media and stuff. And then going viral and blowing up doesn't necessarily mean your business is going to do well either. So there's a whole lot of things you have to think about when you start doing things like this. But I don't know, just something I kind of was on my mind and wanted to talk about because it's been kind of getting to me. And I feel like talking it out always kind of helps me. So that's why I kind of created the channel, like I said. But yeah, there's a lot of things of why people quit and fail because it's just not as enjoyable as actually creating because there's a lot of things you have to deal with. There's a lot of obstacles that you're unaware of. And to be honest, they just keep coming. But I don't know, guys. I just make these silly little videos hoping that I will become monetized like those other faceless video game channels or something like that. But I will talk to you guys in the next one, and peace.